Hey guys, what's up? Wanted to make videos kind of going over individual parts of the skull, kind of the rendering aspects of it. So I'm going to be using this Creedy Color Nero medium. And I'm going to be talking about right now mostly the very kind of specifics of, like, I'll go over the eye socket right now in this video. So the eye socket, especially when it's almost always dark, unless you have a light right in its face, but it's very rare you see a piece of art, of a skull that doesn't have like this. The eye socket's all dug. The eye socket's dark because it's a concave surface. It's a hole. So what I do, because the top part of it's slightly round, is I use the side of my pencil to make kind of a softer edge, as you can see there. Yeah, hopefully you can see that. That's a soft edge as opposed to a hard edge, which is, and I'll throw that down, would be this. See, that's like a harder. See, that's like a straight line. I like to picture it like, take that line, and if you like put it completely out of focus or something, it'll turn to that. It'll blurry, And the reason you do that is because in the eye socket, right, of a skull, the form kind of wraps around. It kind of slowly transitions. It's a little bit rounder, basically. It's a layman way of saying that. And right here, it's not as round. It's a little bit more jaggedy. You know what I mean? The surface is like, you're not seeing it entirely like that. You're seeing it kind of cut. You know what I mean? You're actually seeing the bottom of this form and kind of turn in to, the cavity, So I do that with the eye mostly. Another specific thing I do with the eye, let's say this is, whatever. Let's say that's the other eye and that's the nose, whatever. So when you're doing that, I tend to throw a lot of darks toward where the darkest area is going to be. So let's just say, usually when we look at an eye socket, there is this cavity toward the back of it. There is this orbicularis, I believe, bone, the ocular bone there, on the inside. So what I like to do is I like to throw a light layer with the side of my pencil, throw it kind of over the whole thing, right? And then I pick the darker points, right? Will be kind of way in the back there. But I try to make like the values of these not too different, so that it won't be too different. It's like a subtle thing. That's where you get into really, really subtle territory. And I'll kind of darken it up toward the middle of the face. The reason I'll darken it up is because it's kind of it's weird because you do it for different reasons. You're deciding this. Maybe in the photo that's not gonna happen, like darker right here, or maybe it might. It tends to be darker here, but there's decision stuff and there's stuff that you kind of see in reality. You know what I mean? So like in reality, you'll probably see the darkness toward the back of the eye socket, right? Because there's less light hitting it, less light's reflecting off. But for a style thing, you want to manipulate the darks to really kind of fit the purpose of your photo. And that's why, like, I hate when I see, Photoshop filtering images, stuff like that. You're kind of like, when it's totally filtered, you ever seen those things that take a picture and make it look like portrait, like a filter you throw over. All it is a filter. And it's because it's not editing out the things that there's decision making with artists that the computer can't do quite yet, It'll probably get there one day, maybe with AI. But right now, the reason they hire an artist to do that, you need a kind of a working human to do it, is because he's making decisions that he knows. Of like, that looks ugly. That looks, that looks weird. You know what I mean? Even if it looks weird in real life. Because we're interpreting real life. We're not actually, trying to duplicate real life as much, you kind of are. But we're really making an interpretation, our interpretation. You're making it better and sleeker than real life. You know what I mean? But anyways, that'd be what I do with the eye socket. You know what I mean? I could put a little bit more darks over here. And you evaluate as you're doing it. You know what I mean? That's just one eye socket. You know what I mean? And the reason, it looks kind of weird, right? It looks strange how it's isolated like that. There's no drawing around it. See, normally what I would do, like in an actual drawing, you'd have like lighter values kind of connecting it, to other stuff. And there'd be other darks over here. There'd be the nose cavity, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? there'd be other stuff to it. But right now I want to talk really in depth of when I do that. Because, and honestly, everything I do there I'm going to do over here on the other side. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do it right now for you, but, you know. So this is kind of a weird video. I understand, guys. I just wanted to talk more about, because people ask me, like, what exactly am I doing? You know, I do this, and I'm like, oh, I didn't talk about it. So I'm actually trying to talk about it. Let me review what I talked about. So I'm talking about how I go over and I kind of render out and I draw the eye socket. And normally, like I said, I usually don't get on the tip of the pencil for that. I usually get on the side. There's definitely this softer value toward the top of the eye sockets. And there seems to be like this sharper edge going on when it gets around here, the bottom and edge. I pull out a dark, I usually shade the whole thing in dark. And then I'll pull out the, you know, the darker darks within the darks, you know. It's funny, it's a lot of darks. And I'll do that. And I can't make it, I don't want to make it super differential in this particular drawing. But I pull out, see that little bit dark in the back because it's receiving less light. And then I pull it here as a decision to create focal point toward the middle of the face that I want. So that's kind of how I draw the eye socket. And sometimes you get on the edge, sometimes you won't. But like I stay on the side of the pencil a lot, honestly. I hardly get on like right here, you know, unless you're doing specific line art. Anyways, guys, that's about it. Please give me some feedback below. This is kind of a weird video, so I'm kind of experimenting now with the channel. So thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later.